Love and light, family. My name is Dr. Marcia Derby Davis. I am an educator, a healer, and founder of Saharia Body, Mind, and Spirit. I have just been led to really make this video to share my story and perhaps inspire, uplift, and educate, help heal someone who may be experiencing grief this holiday season. That is my goal of going live. That is my goal of making this video. Transparency, healing. Yeah. So, my journey of grief and loss began 6 years ago on the night of December 25th, 2016. My family's life was turned upside down. My husband and I had two adult daughters. Lucy Pink, the eldest, was 26 years old, and her stepsister, Jasmine, my husband's daughter, was 24. And that Christmas day, even though we're not big Christmas or holiday fans, we always get together on the holidays. And our family got together as usual, and the goal was to have holiday dinner at grandma's house, my mother's house, and then, yeah, come back and just chill out at the house. So, anyway, we went and we had dinner as usual and came back home, and the girls were there. Lucy has a daughter, Star, and Jasmine had two small kids. So all the kids were there and we were in the house and we were laughing and talking and joking and just having a good time like we always do. As the evening got later, my husband and I and the kids went to bed and the girls went out that night. When we woke up the next day and I didn't see them, and it was around noon. My husband and I decided, we had the grandkids. Let's go find these girls. So we went to Lucy's apartment. We thought, okay, they went out. They probably partying. Who knows? Had some drinks and was asleep. So we were knocking on the door. No answer. We were a little bit upset because we really didn't want to keep the kids the day after Christmas. We had bought our new bikes and we wanted to just have some fun, the two of us. Anyway, we went there. They didn't answer the door. We thought, okay, they're sleeping. So we went back home with the grandkids. Later in the afternoon, maybe, I don't even remember the time, but it was in the afternoon. I would say about 3-ish, maybe 2-ish. I don't even know. I was inside and we got a knock on the door, and my husband went outside. The police was there, and my husband went outside and they told him the news, and he came inside. And when I saw the police, I just knew something terrible happened. And they said that the girls were involved in an accident and they died that night. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. They also said that apparently the car, they were coming home, there was another four of them in the car: Lucy, Jasmine, and two guys, their dates for the night. So three of them died and the driver survived, and they said that they were at the lake trying to find Lucy's body. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. So we got dressed, Went to the lake, and believe it or not, there was a vigil at the lake, I would say. People were searching, the police was searching. People were at the lake from morning, and my life was on the local news. The local news. My entire life was on the local news as they searched for my daughter and my stepdaughter. I was devastated. Words cannot even begin to describe the type of pain you feel at the loss of your child. What do you mean you couldn't find Lucy's body? What does that mean? What do you mean Lucy's dead? What are you talking about? And the news is there and they're asking us questions, and I'm like in a state of shock. In one night, your entire life can be turned upside down in one night. We were just together. What do you do? How do you move forward? What do you say? I was broken. I was broken to the core of my being. And so the story continued for 2 or 3 days. We were at the lake searching for Lucy, searching, couldn't find her. And I said, God, creator, great spirit, how do I bury a child that in a casket that they can't find her body? Please, I need to find her body. I cannot do this. So, like on the third day, there was a rain that night. I remember. Then the next morning, they found Lucy, and we went to the lake, and they said, "You don't want to see her body because you don't want this memory." So, under the advice of family, my ex-husband identified the body. You know what that means? That means that I had to have a funeral believing that they said my daughter was in there. I don't know. I had to accept somebody else's truth story as mine, and I had to move forward. So fast forward, planning the funeral, and that was drama. I'm not sure about other people's family, but my family is a family of drama. There was so much drama around the funeral. We had two funerals. It was, do we have two funerals? Do we have one funeral? My ex is fighting with us, and it was just so much drama. Anyway, we decided to have one funeral for both girls. We came to the agreement together, and the night of the viewing. So, the night of the viewing, we get to the funeral home, and the attendant takes us into the room where the caskets are first before the general public and family comes in. I'm with my husband. We get in there, and I see the two caskets. I pass out on the floor. I'm Jamaican, so let me just tell you. And I started to bawl from the bottom of my belly. It was like I felt a pain like when you give birth, for those of you who've ever given birth. I bawled and wailed and wailed and wailed. I don't know, for 30, 45 minutes. I could not get up. I couldn't get up. I was on the floor, wailing and wailing and wailing. I had to get it out. I had to get it out. And when I was done wailing, I was able to get up, and I sat there through the viewing and the kind words that everyone said, numb. I was numb. I went to the funeral the next day. I was numb. I couldn't even feel anything. Post funeral, that's when the depression set in. I could not speak to anyone. I'm telling you, for a year, I was in a state of shock. I couldn't. I was in a state of depression. I couldn't speak to anyone. I couldn't go to work. I couldn't answer my phone. I just sat and looked and sat and looked, trying to find meaning of this loss, trying to understand why us, why me. Lucy was my best friend. Yes, every mother and daughter have their arguments, but at the end of the day, that was my best friend and she was snatched away from me. That's not how this story is supposed to go. The parents go before the children. And so I'm going to tell more of this story, but I don't want to make this into such an extensive, long video. But I'm just saying, I searched for meaning. I sat. I got to the point where I just would sit outside and count the ants, just looking. I call it sitting and looking for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. I was a broken woman. I could not drive. I was afraid of the dark. I was afraid of the rain. I just became crippled. Now, I'm talking about a professional woman at the height of her professional career, national conference speaker, very much well established in academia in the height of my profession. I was broken, and there was nothing no one could say. I didn't even want to see people. I hid in my house because whenever I saw someone and they began to talk to Lucy, that was a trigger, and I would just break down. I was broken. And so I think about the reason why I'm making this video is because I was traumatized during the holiday season, because the next year, the year after, the year after, I had to go through this December season, this season where there's a time of family and a time of happiness and a time of joy. And for me, it was a time of darkness. I am a little bit better now, but back then, 6 years ago, I could not handle the holiday season. I didn't want to be here and I didn't want to be in this time of joy because the triggers were too much. The lights, the singing, the joy, everyone talking about their family and their children. It was just too much. It was just too much for me. So I spent every holiday season from December 1st through January 5th in mourning, in deep pain. And I'm going to be completely transparent. The worst part about this is I did not have the support of my family to help me go through this. I felt abandoned by my family. And they may watch this video one day and deny it and say it never happened, but this is my story. The people that I thought were the closest to me, my sisters, my mother, holiday would come, and from December 1st through January 5th, there were no phone calls. No one called to say, "Hey, how are you doing? Would you like a cup of tea? Can we bring you something?" And I was very angry at them. Now I'm at a space where maybe they couldn't be there for me because of their own grief. I don't know. I just know that when someone is grieving and they're suffering, if just give them a call or show up or something, just don't abandon them. But my husband and I, we were abandoned, I believe, by my sisters, my mother, the people that I thought would be there for us. So every December we had to suffer and go through this pain. So here I am again, fast forward to another December. How am I feeling? The journey has not been an easy one. I'm not in the same place I was 6 years ago, but December is still a rough month for me. I still spend time counting down, wanting to just get this time of the year over with so I can move on with my life. There are times when I get depressed. I'm sad and I have to push through. My husband will search and say, "Where are you?" "I'm here. I'm just sad." and I push through. So you say, Dr. Derby Davis, how do you push through? I have to use gratitude. Whenever I hit a low point in my day, I have to go back and I have to think, you know what? I'm blessed. I have a home. I have a great husband. I have good grandchildren. I'm blessed. So I really will myself into a state of gratitude. I will myself to push through this holiday season. I will myself to go on. It's not easy. It's not easy because you see your friends and they're with their children and they're buying gifts, and you know that that's not something you're ever going to experience again in this plane. I miss my daughter. And I'm surprised, really, I can sit here and talk about this because maybe last year, the year before, I wouldn't be able to even get through this conversation without feeling broken. I'm not saying that I'm 100% healed. I'm just saying now this is my new normal and I am learning to live with it. I know now that Lucy and Jazz, they will always be with me in my heart. And that gives me hope. It does. It gives me hope. And through all of this, my life took a different path and I became a life coach, a healer, just to help others get through their journey. So I think, what is the lesson? I'm grateful for Lucy. I remember when Lucy was here, she said, Mom, you can't go before me. I can't survive it. I'm grateful for Lucy, and I'm grateful that she decided to leave before me. And with the loss, the passing of Lucy, I have met so many wonderful women that I have helped on their journey of healing. And perhaps if Lucy was here, I would not be in this space. I love her and I miss her with all my heart. And it is so, so hard. So hard. So, what I'm telling you is if you have a recent loss or you're experiencing grief during this holiday season, allow yourself to grieve. Allow yourself to feel your pain. It's okay not to be okay. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to cry. But if you feel like you're going to hurt yourself, that's a different story. It's okay to be sad. Feel the pain, feel the emotions. Cry, let it out. Let it out. The tears will cleanse you. Let it out. And somewhere after you let it out, will yourself to a space of gratitude. Will yourself to see if there's anything you can be grateful for, knowing that your loved one would not want you to be in a space of suffering, a space of pain. It's not easy. It is not easy, but this too shall pass. And as it says in the scripture, weeping may endure for a moment, but joy comes in the morning. Trust me, one day you're going to wake up and this black cloud is going to be lifted from you, and you're going to begin to experience some joy. I can truly say this year in 2022, I have experienced some joy. I have begun to laugh again. The triggers don't bother me as much. So each day, you're going to get better and better. Surround yourself with people who celebrate you. If your family is not there for you, find your tribe. There is a tribe out there for you who will support you, who will help you, who will hold you up. My tribe was my colleagues and dear friends. They held me up. They allowed me to cry when I finally went back to work. They allowed me to grieve without shame. And for that, I am eternally grateful. So here I am now in this space. I had to get it out. Like I said, there are moments when I feel like, oh my God, I'm so sad. But I decided, why not make a video? I will leave this legacy. Maybe my grandchildren will see it one day and realize what grandma went through. I lost a lot of friends and I gained new ones. I accept my family for who they are. And I know now that this year they will not be there for me. And I'm okay with it because I know that they have their own journey and they have their own story. You can't force people to love you. You can't force people to be there for you, but you got to be there for yourself. So choose to be there for yourself. Don't give up. No matter how dark it seems, I promise you, weeping may endure for a night, but joy does come in the morning. Trust the process. Feel the emotions and release them. Shed the tears and release them. Trust the divine. There is a purpose and there is a lesson for you to learn. And this will be a moment of growth for you. You will never be the same. I'm not the same person I was before Lucy and Jazz passed. I am a completely different person. I'm trusting the process. I am choosing to be transparent and I'm sharing my story. This is my story. I love you, Lucy, and I love you, Jasmine. And I'm going to hang in there. I'm going to continue to push through. I'm going to push through for the grandkids. I'm going to push through for my husband. And most importantly, I'm going to push through for me. I don't know what 2023 holds. I don't know the path my journey is going to take in 2023. I've said that I want to educate, uplift, and inspire. It has been put on my heart even to make women my target audience. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm sharing my story in hopes that I can uplift and inspire someone. Hang in there. I love you. I honor you. If you need a private healing session, please reach out to me. The information will be in the description box. Please share this with your friends, your family. And finally, may all your days be filled with loving light. May you have peace. May you have joy. And may you find meaning in your story. Much love, much blessings. Namaste.